Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a really fascinating collision. What actually happens when lightning-fast infrastructure meets some seriously ambitious urban policy? We're going to focus right in on how the Ghaziabad Master Plan 2031, combined with the arrival of rapid transit, is fundamentally rewiring the Moti region. I mean, we are literally watching the complete redefinition of modern housing happen right before our eyes, turning what used to be a heavily industrial area into a wildly sought-after premium residential hub. 40 minutes. That's it. That is the magic number that's changing absolutely everything. Now, if you know anything about NCR traffic, you know this is a total game changer. Come early 2026, when the entire 82-kilometer Delhi-Meerut-Namubard RTS corridor is fully dedicated, the travel time between Sarai Kali Khan and Delhi and Moti Nagar drops to just about 40 minutes. Just think about that for a second. What used to be an hour-plus bumper-to-bumper nightmare commute is suddenly a swift, breezy, high-speed journey. But, this raises a really interesting question. How exactly does a new high-speed train, paired up with a bureaucratic master plan, completely transform a city's identity? Because it's not just about laying down tracks, right? It's about this incredible cause and effect relationship between new infrastructure, highly targeted urban policy, and the massive housing boom that follows. And that is exactly what we're going to unpack today. Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our roadmap for The Explainer. First up, the commute revolution. Then we'll hit the Ghaziabad Master Plan 2031, followed by breaking down TOD policy. From there, we'll explore the modern housing boom and wrap things up with a 2026 real estate outlook. Section 1, the commute revolution, or the Naimo Bharat catalyst. So, historically speaking, infrastructure is the absolute #1 driver of real estate value. And with this new train, the whole concept of a geographical gap between Delhi and Moti Nagar has effectively vanished. Since the travel time is down to 40 minutes, that old psychological barrier, the feeling that it's just too far, is completely gone. Market reports are showing that this massive reduction in travel time has instantly turned the region into one of the most sought-after real estate spots in the entire National Capital Region. For Delhi-based professionals, it's no longer a long haul. It's practically next door. Section 2, the Ghaziabad Master Plan 2031. The policy powerhouse. Now, a fast train all by itself doesn't just magically build a new city. You really need a strong policy framework to steer that infrastructure into actual on-the-ground real estate. And that brings us to transit-oriented development, or TOD. Introduced right in the Ghaziabad Master Plan 2031, TOD is an absolute game-changer of a strategy. Simply put, it deliberately clusters housing, upscale retail, and mixed-use spaces right around public transit hubs, so instead of endless suburban sprawl, you're building dense, vibrant, highly connected communities exactly where the transit nodes are. Section 3, breaking down TOD policy, the mechanics. Okay, so how does a dry planning document actually change a physical skyline? Well, according to sources like the Hindustan Times and 99 Acres, the master plan grants some very specific, really powerful allowances. The big one here is a higher floor area ratio, or FAR. Basically, this is a zoning term that gives developers the green light to build taller, far more modern residential structures than they were allowed to before. And alongside that, the plan actually mandates mixed-use development. That means these new residential towers aren't just sitting out in the middle of nowhere. They're supported by integrated world-class retail and commercial spaces right at their doorstep. And this brilliantly illustrates the real-world, sequential impact of these policies. Because, it doesn't happen all at once. Step 1 is the catalyst. The high-speed RTS station opens up, bringing that crucial connectivity. Then, step 2 is the policy reaction. Thanks to that TOD framework we just talked about, mixed-use retail and commercial spaces spring up directly around the transit hub. And finally, step 3. Utilizing that higher floor area ratio, developers come in and construct modern, high-rise flats to house all the professionals who want to live near the shops and the high-speed train. It is a perfectly engineered domino effect. Section 4, the modern housing boom, the effect. So now we finally get to see all these bureaucratic concepts translate into actual homes. And we are witnessing a dramatic shift in identity here. Historically, Moti Nagar was really known for its industrial roots and, traditional standalone homes. But today, modern Moti Nagar is rapidly evolving into a massive bedroom community for Delhi-based professionals. Families are actively ditching congested city centers for upscale gated townships, places like Moti City, that offer this really nice blend of suburban peace, but with Delhi-speed connectivity. The demand has completely flipped from industrial plots to premium gated flats and luxury residential setups. And wow, the data proves this shift is happening fast. 66%. According to Knight Frank India's research, there's been a staggering 66% increase in buyer interest along this specific RRTS corridor. That is a massive spike. It validates the whole housing boom, proving that the combo of a 40-minute commute and newly approved modern high-rises is acting like a giant magnet for buyers who want affordable prices without sacrificing rapid connectivity. And it's not just theoretical interest either, it's actual capital flowing in. Reports from Times Property highlight that property values within a tight 2-kilometer radius of these new RRTS stations have already seen sharp, significant jumps. This hyperlocal surge really reflects the intense demand and liquidity for properties situated directly near these transit nodes. Basically, the closer you are to the station, the more that TOD policy fuels the value of the land. Section 5, 2026 Real Estate Outlook, the verdict. So, what's the final verdict for the long-term future of this corridor? Well, the projections are incredibly strong. Real estate analysts over at Anarock have delivered a pretty powerful verdict, stating that the Ghaziabad-Moti Nagar corridor is currently in its most lucrative growth phase. In fact, as this corridor fully matures, they expect it to actually outperform established traditional hubs, like Noida or Gurugram, in both long-term rental yields and capital appreciation. That is a monumental shift in the NCR's real estate hierarchy, and it's driven entirely by the synergy between the Namavart train and the 2031 master plan. So we've seen how simply reducing a commute to 40 minutes and passing targeted zoning laws can essentially build a modern city from the ground up. The Ghaziabad Master Plan 2031 isn't just a dry document, it's quite literally the blueprint for the future of suburban living. As transit-oriented development continues to aggressively reshape the National Capital Region, trading sprawling congestion for high-speed connectivity, it leaves us with one final, pretty exciting thought to consider. Will your next home be built around a train station? Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer.